Welcome to the Lifestyle Medicine Update. I'm Dr. James Machino. Our topic today is the interaction between caffeine, sleep, performance, and health risks. So we've heard that caffeine can cause insomnia. It can increase alertness. It's been shown to enhance athletic performance. It can give you the jitters and cause some anxiety in some people. But how exactly does caffeine improve alertness and performance in a sleep-deprived state? Because that's how a lot of people use caffeine. Well, a really excellent review paper on this subject was published in the journal Nutrition Reviews in the year 2014. Here's how caffeine actually works in your body. It blocks these receptors called adenosine receptors so that adenosine can't stimulate the receptor. And in turn, what happens then is there's a release of adrenaline, dopamine, and also some other chemicals like acetylcholine and others. But the net effect of that is that there's increased alertness. Blood pressure can increase, heart rate can increase, and it also increases the pleasure reward system, gives you sort of some drive, if you will. Now, regarding sleep and alertness, the brain actually tracks sleep in two ways. How long you've been awake on any particular day, it tracks that. And your cumulative sleep over the past number of days, it's also tracking that. So if your cumulative sleep has been compromised, then your brain builds up a sleep debt that eventually has to be repaid at some point. The same thing happens if you force yourself to stay awake for a long period of time on any given day. The brain is tracking that, and it's going to force you to pay back that sleep debt. Now, the thing about caffeine is that studies show that it can temporarily help you overcome sleepiness in a sleep propensity state. So sleep propensity means that you've been awake a long time, or you're feeling fatigued, and there's a feeling that you have a need for sleep. That's called sleep propensity. And caffeine can sort of help you overcome that sleepiness until you can actually get some sleep and repay the sleep debt. In fact, sleep studies with humans show that caffeine ingestion in a sleep-deprived state can actually improve the ability to stay awake, prevent the slowing of reaction time, and reduce the number of lapses of attention in that sleep-deprived state. And the effects are dose-dependent, so meaning that your performance tends to improve as you go from 200 milligrams of caffeine up to 600 milligrams of caffeine. So know that 1 cup of caffeinated coffee has about 150 to 200 milligrams of caffeine, whereas decaffeinated coffee would only have about 2 to 12 milligrams, significantly less. However, as you increase the dose of caffeine, the side effects also increase, and the common side effects of feeling the jitters, if you will, abdominal pain, nausea. But I've noticed the fact that caffeine intake in the morning, in the afternoon, and overnight have been shown to counteract the body's circadian-related performance decrements, increasing alertness and improving neurobehavioral functioning compared to people taking the placebo. However, if you push the limit, depriving yourself of the sleep you really need, and the pressure for sleep becomes very high, the ingestion of caffeine has little or no effect on preventing performance deficits and mini sleep attacks that can pose a serious threat, especially if you're driving or operating heavy equipment, or attention is required to focus on a task that might put other people in danger. So let's say you're an air traffic controller, for instance. In the end, caffeine is not a chemical substitute for adequate healthy sleep. It can be used to heighten alertness for short periods to suppress the mental and physical fatigue, but constantly accruing sleep debt and continually using caffeine as a substitute for sleep to sustain your alertness and performance throughout the day and work through the night can actually lead to some serious health consequences and dangerous things. This is especially true for people who use high doses of caffeine, who have heart conditions, high blood pressure, diabetes, intestinal diseases that can make all of these things worse. And some people don't metabolize caffeine very efficiently, and in which case this is strongly associated with heart attacks in middle-aged men. I've noted the fact that short naps are an effective countermeasure that prevent performance decline in situations of increased sleep propensity. So when you feel the need to sleep, actually having a short nap can actually help bring back your level of alertness and functioning, so you don't always need caffeine. But how much sleep do you actually need in a 24-hour cycle? Well, most of us need 7 to 8.5 hours of habitual sleep. Now, more than 28% of Americans sleep less than 7 hours per night on average. So there's a lot of people walking around in a sleep-deprived state, a lot of them trying to use caffeine to overcome it. There are some people who can get by on less sleep, just 5 to 6 hours per night, but it's a small minority of people that can actually do that efficiently. Some people try to get by on this little sleep and use caffeine to help sustain them. However, the sleep debt accrues, and over time, decreased alertness and performance starts to occur, as often do the signs of impaired and irrational decision-making and the inability to stay compliant with various objectives and goals, including wellness goals like exercise and healthy eating. In fact, sleep deprivation is strongly tied to weight gain and increased caloric intake. When people get tired, they eat more almost unconsciously, they gain weight, they don't have the energy to exercise. So the bottom line appears to be this: get your 7 to 8.5 hours of sleep routinely. If you want to use caffeine to give yourself a gentle performance boost 1 to 3 times per day, then for most people it doesn't seem to be harmful. But routinely using caffeine as a substitute for adequate healthy sleep will eventually fail you and may cause or aggravate some health conditions, create other dangers, reduce your ability to make rational decisions, and likely interfere with your weight loss and wellness objectives. Now, in the next Lifestyle Medicine Update, I'm going to explain how your body actually breaks caffeine down and how it stays in your body for certain periods of time, and other aspects of caffeine you might find interesting, such as its ability to help reduce the risk of certain diseases, in fact. Now, as always, I've included the link to the review article in the text below. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.